with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News Nowcast.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm Mark Salday. It's a mid-morning check of some of the stories we're following here at Erie News Now. And we'll get you to David Wolter's first morning forecast for the weekend coming up in just a little bit. In the news, the battle over face masks within school buildings this fall, it's really heating up, especially down in Florida. And at the center of it all is Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. Several Florida school districts keeping their mask mandates in place for the upcoming school year. That's despite an executive order from Governor DeSantis that leaves it up to Florida parents to decide whether their kids wear those face coverings in school. DeSantis is now saying that Florida school boards that don't eliminate their mask mandates could face the loss of state funding. South Florida's Broward County School District, the second largest in Florida, cited safety as its top priority when they announced their mask requirement, as coronavirus cases have really been surging in Florida in recent weeks. Governor DeSantis said that because vaccines are now prevalent, his decision, the decision to mask students should be left up to parents and not to those Florida school districts. Well, the CDC says COVID vaccinations are actually up this week, but so are new cases as the Delta variant surges in spots. California, the first state to mandate COVID shots for all of its healthcare workers. That decision coming down on Thursday. And this rule applies to almost 2 million workers at hospitals, nursing homes, and other medical offices. The FDA now reportedly developing a plan to deliver booster shots to some vaccinated individuals, particularly the elderly or immunocompromised. Pfizer and Moderna both say their boosters will be needed as a protection from the original doses as that wears off. And here in Erie County, the leaders of the health department say an increase in the number of local COVID cases shows the possibility that that Delta variant has reached Erie County. They say that could mean the return of a countywide mask mandate. Currently, no lab confirmation, they say, though, of the Delta variant's arrival in Erie County. The CDC currently calls Erie County's level of virus transmission moderate. But if the current trend continues, County Executive Kathy Dahlkemper says we may have to go back to wearing face masks. Well, as we've been reporting, the Biden administration's move to extend that federal eviction moratorium didn't, at least initially, impact Erie County renters because of COVID transmission levels here considered moderate, as I just mentioned. Well, apparently a number of local people have already been kicked out of their homes, and Erie County's community shelter services is just one of the places that some of those folks turn to in their search for a place to stay. The director there, Diane Lizette, tells us that because of COVID, they've been dealing with a lot of extended stays at this shelter, and they expect to see more kids this year. And they're currently collecting back-to-school supplies to give away to some of those kids. Well, state police are still working on a deadly car crash. Their investigation into it down in southern Erie County. This one happened within some pretty foggy conditions last night down in southern Erie County. It was around 10 o'clock. This is the intersection of Crane Road and Lay Road in Washington Township near Edinburgh. Now, troopers didn't mention this fog in their accident report that came out a little bit ago. They do say it was a 32-year-old Jacob Serrano of Albion who drove his car off the road and into a ditch. They say it went airborne. Serrano was actually ejected through the vehicle's sunroof, and that car landed on top of him. That 32-year-old was pronounced dead at that crash scene. Well, out in western Erie County, the annual celebration known as Dan Rice Days continues through the weekend. It's the 55th edition of that event, kicked off earlier this week. It's all about celebrating Dan Rice. He's a longtime circus owner, circus performer, who called Girard home for many years.
Enjoying every minute of it. Great weather, bringing the Italian ice, keeping everybody cool. You know, it's so exciting to be out, just to see people and to associate and come face to face without the masks. It's very exciting. Just glad everybody's out having a good time and enjoying it.
And lots going on out in Girard for Dan Rice Days. Live music, photo contest, bake sale, yeah, and that big parade. That's one of the highlights of the weekend. The Dan Rice Days parade kicks off at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, the ongoing worker shortage is being blamed for a schedule change out at WALDAMEER Park. They've been a 7-day-a-week operation in recent years. Got it cut down to 6 earlier this season because of that shortage. They were closing on Wednesdays. Well, according to a post on their Facebook page, WALDAMEER is now going to be closed weekdays starting Monday, August 23rd. So basically going to weekends only, a few weeks earlier than normal. They do say the school combo tickets that anybody had out at WALDAMEER, those will be good through August 16th. And boy, David Wolter, you got to imagine Water World is going to be a busy spot this weekend.
It certainly is. Temperatures are heating on up. We've got enough sunshine out there, a beautiful day down on Lake Erie. You can see some of the jet boats out there on the lake, or out there on the bay, I should say. And we are looking at some great weather for any of those boating or beach days coming up ahead, although it is certainly going to be pretty hot if you will be out on a boat. We've got winds generally pretty light, but they're coming from the south, and that's the big reason why temperatures will be warming up so much. Lake temperature at 74 degrees, and right now temperatures across the area already working towards that 80-degree mark in Erie. 74 into Meadville, lower middle 70s, Bradford, Warren 70 in Jamestown. A little bit drier for you guys, at least a little bit cooler and drier. For today, we are expecting those temperatures to continue to warm on up, and for the Italian Festival at St. Paul's Church, that kicks off late this afternoon. You can see temperatures coming on down into the 70s. Should be dry, nothing more than maybe a very, very spotty shower out there. Heat index is certainly going to be kind of a bigger issue, especially as we get into Monday and Tuesday. That heat index, that feel like temperature approaching 100 degrees. So yeah, we're really getting in the dog days of the summer, and certainly going to be sweating things out a little bit. Here is a look around the region. You can see that we are still under the influence of high pressure. May have that very spotty shower in store for us today. You can see that futurecast during the afternoon tries to develop a shower. May have one or two by Sheffield out there in the Warren, Kane, Bradford area by the end of the afternoon. Then on Saturday, I think as we step into the afternoon, we'll watch some of those clouds kind of bubble up and look for a few more of those scattered showers, potentially some thunderstorms for the second half of the afternoon. Locally heavy rainfall is certainly a possibility, but keep in mind these are still scattered. So if you do have those outdoor plans, obviously staying cool on a day like this, but just keep your eye to the sky as well. We'll have a few of those storms. Doesn't look like anything severe, but we could have some heavier rain and maybe even a gusty winds as some of those storms do push on through. Your zone outlook for today: expecting temperatures to work their way up into the lower and middle 80s. So definitely hot enough. Humidity increasing a little bit. Spot shower this afternoon, nothing more than that. In Crawford County, temperatures lower and middle 80s, and we're certainly heating things up in Warren County. But we'll talk about the actual air temperature and when we hit 90 degrees. That's all coming up in just a moment.
First, though, looks like the folks at the game show Jeopardy may have found their new host. It's the show's executive producer, Mike Richards. And he's now reportedly in talks to, permanently replace the late Alex Trebek. Richards joined Jeopardy last year, has several hosting gigs under his belt for shows like Divided, The Pyramid, Beauty and the Geek, apparently, as well. And he's also filled in as a Jeopardy host. That happened earlier this year. We've seen a bunch of celebrities filling in for Alex Trebek over the past few months. Their search for a permanent replacement continues, of course, after Alex Trebek died of pancreatic cancer back in November. But yeah, this Jeopardy producer seems to be the front runner to be that permanent Jeopardy host. I know, at least for a while anyway, we're talking about actor, producer LeVar Burton perhaps getting that role on Jeopardy, but it looks like could be Richards at this point, David.
Yeah, I guess he's worked with the show long enough. He's seen the traits of Alex Trebek, although you can't completely be Alex Trebek, but still, someone is eventually going to have to fill that role. And as we go over the next couple of days, keep that water jug extra filled. Make sure you're taking those shade breaks, listening to your body, because these are the kind of days in which we're a little bit concerned about heat stress and heat exhaustion. It gets to that point where your body's just getting overly hot and you're really, really sweating. Your body's trying to cool you down effectively. Humidity numbers will be making these numbers feel a bit hotter. In terms of rain, maybe a few storms out there as we get into your Saturday afternoon, then looking ahead to next week as we progress Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Temperatures, they're still staying hot, but we may have a few more of the storms to go along with the heat.
Yeah, hot one in store for sure. We've got Amanda Post and 30 minutes of news coming your way at noon on WSEE. And of course, we'll be back Monday morning about the same time for another edition of the NOWCAST. Try and stay cool. Have a great weekend.